Hey everybody! Welcome to Mantras for IELTS. You guys pumped to crush this exam? I know, vocabulary. But hold on. What if I told you there are some crazy, fun, easy ways to boost your IELTS vocabulary? We're talking about unlocking your inner word wizard and impressing those examiners with your linguistic genius. So buckle up, grab your notebooks, and get ready for 6 awesome tips that will change the way you learn IELTS vocabulary forever. Let's do this, team. All right, tip number 1 is all about becoming a word detective. Think Sherlock Holmes, but instead of a magnifying glass, you've got prefixes, suffixes, and roots. Take the prefix un for example. It means not pretty simple, right? So, if you know the word happy, boom, you automatically know unhappy means the opposite. Same goes for suffixes, like ness, which often indicates a state of being. Happy becomes happiness. Learning these building blocks is like having a cheat sheet for the English language. You'll start recognizing them everywhere, and suddenly, those long, intimidating words won't seem so scary anymore. Tip number 2 is all about ditching those boring vocabulary lists. Let's face it, memorizing words in isolation is about as fun as watching paint dry. Instead, we're going on a word safari. We're going to learn new words in their natural habitat in context. When you see a new word, don't just memorize its definition. Read the whole sentence, the whole paragraph, the whole article. This way, you'll not only learn the word's meaning, but you'll also understand how to use it naturally in your own writing and speaking. Tip number 3 is all about getting artsy. Well, sort of. It's about using visual aids to supercharge your vocabulary learning. Think diagrams, flowcharts, mind maps, anything that helps you see the connections between words. Let's say you're learning vocabulary related to food. Instead of just writing down fruit, vegetable, and dessert, create a mind map. Put food in the center, then branch out to different categories. You can even add pictures to make it more memorable. Trust me, our brains love visuals. They're like little memory magnets. So get creative and start turning those boring word lists into vibrant, unforgettable visual masterpieces. Alright, tip number 4 is all about action. It's time to take those new words out for a spin and use them in your speaking and writing. Start small. Write a short paragraph about your dream vacation using new travel vocabulary. Or strike up a conversation with a friend about a recent news article using those fancy new words you learned. Remember, language is a skill, and just like any skill, the more you practice, the better you get. Tip number 5 is all about adding some flavor to your language. We're talking about idiomatic expressions, those colorful phrases that make you sound like a native speaker. For example, if someone says break a leg before a performance, they're not wishing you a trip to the emergency room. They're actually wishing you good luck. Learning idiomatic expressions is like adding spices to your cooking. They take your language from bland to bam. So start collecting these phrases and sprinkle them into your conversations and writing. Just make sure you're using them correctly, or you might end up with a linguistic disaster. And finally, tip number 6, the secret weapon for long-term vocabulary retention. It's called spaced repetition, and it's like a workout routine for your brain. Instead of cramming all those new words into your head at once, you review them at increasingly longer intervals. There are tons of apps and websites that can help you with this. Spaced repetition helps you build those neural pathways and commit those words to long-term memory. That's it for today's video. Remember, learning vocabulary is a lifelong process, and with these 6 tips, you can improve your language skills and expand your vocabulary. Just keep practicing, stay curious, and have fun with it. Remember, language is about communication, connection, and expressing yourself. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more language learning tips and resources.